Um, so I'm actually going to demonstrate to you a few of the technologies that we've found that we think might be helpful for your centres or organisations to use. And obviously there's all the social media side of it, but there's also some quite good ones that help with running and collaborating more generally. And those are probably the ones that we're having a quick look at. So the first one that we're going to look at is a technology called Doodle. And I know that Debbie and Grania have used this because it's become my new favourite. And it's a brilliant way of organising meetings. So I don't know if you've used it at all, Katie. But with all the technologies that we're going to look at, it's going to be free technologies that are quite simple and easy to use, that kind of follow a normal standard of registration and then just working through and being interactive. So if you just have a few seconds to read through that slide, and then if you just wanted to put your hand up once you've read it. Now, the big thing that I think Doodle makes a massive impact on is the amount of time that you can save by using something like that. And I've used it during the Berkshire Digital Learning Champions project to schedule meetings and events, so it's been really helpful and easy to use. So to basically set up a Doodle account, you just go to the Doodle website and you've got the quite nice, easy link to just create an account, which is just here. And that will take you through the sort of, the normal online form to sit and fill in. As you can see, I've filled mine in for me. And they just ask you for your email and just a password. And obviously, if you wanted to receive Doodle News, you can decide to receive Doodle News. So normal, straightforward online form, then hit the Create Account button and you're through. And you'll actually get the activation email that is standard on some things and non-standard on others. So once you get the email, you get a nice simple link that you can just click that through and you're taken back to Doodle, and then it asks you for some optional information. If you don't want to enter that, you can click the skip rather than the save, and that just takes you straightforwardly through onto being into Doodle, entering your password and your email, which is always your login. And then you're able to go and schedule your first event, or however many events that you want to schedule. And it's just going through and clicking onto the schedule event sign. And then you're then taken through. And there's 4 steps, as you can see. And each step asks you to enter in slightly different information. So here you've got title, and in the description it's often quite useful to put your agenda in, because a lot of people ask what if it's a meeting, for example, a lot of people, it's helpful for them to know what you're going to be talking about so they can prepare, and also maybe make an assessment as to if they think the meeting had overrun or any of those things, or that would be a particularly useful event or meeting to partake in. And then there's this really nice link. If you click on the Add Address button, you're actually able to enter an address in, as you can see, and then just quickly press the search button, and it finds your address on Google Maps, which is always quite handy for people who want to work out how to get to wherever they are, wherever you're planning to have the meeting, if they haven't been before. So that's obviously the first step that you've gone through. And then you can see that the next step is the process of selecting dates. Now, I obviously did this in preparation of today, So you can see that all of the boxes in March are shaded in a dark grey. But what will happen if the date has already passed? They will be a lighter grey, and so you're unable to select them. But literally all you have to do is just click on whichever dates you want. And then obviously if you kind of get a bit click happy, which I do have a tendency to do, you can just click to remove by clicking on the lovely crosses on the side, and it doesn't remove all of them, just removes the ones that you click the cross next to. So that's your date options, which is your second step. The third step is to enter timings, and what you're able to do is actually fill in timings for, you know, up to five different sort of timings. I don't really see that you would need any more. There's only so many hours in the day. But further down there is an option to add further timings. So it might be that you decide to overlap things, or I don't know how you'd go about it. It's your meeting. And so those all will come up when it comes to somebody going in and selecting their availability. So your final step is schedule the event. Now on the free version, you have to always select the you send the invitation one, because you'd have to pay to do the other one. And then it's a case of just clicking the finish button, and you're taken onto the next step, where it tells you that the poll has been created. And the important thing for you to be able to invite people to go and click their availability, etc., is to click on the participation link. So you're able to cut and paste a URL. As you can see here, it's just to the left of my big fat red line. That's the participation link that you can just cut and paste into an email and send out to whoever it is that you're looking at having along to your meeting to see what their availability is like. And then it's a case of them going in and just literally entering when they're available. So this is actually another event that I've scheduled, and you can see that Debbie and Grania have both replied. And all that anybody who follows the link would see is whoever the person is just enters their name into the white box at the bottom, which you can see just there, and then they're able to just put ticks into the ones where they're available. And then once they've done that, they just click save, and it will appear that they're green if they're available and pink if they're not available. So you can see quite easily it's a really useful and very clear visual reinforcement of when people are free, rather than having all these millions of emails that float around between people when you're trying to arrange meetings between multiple participants. So that is Doodle, and I don't know if anybody has any questions in relation to Doodle, or whether everyone's pretty happy and is ready to move on to the next technology.